Welcome to the
hey.
BOP, the Blurred Official Podcast. We are so happy you are here. We are back. We are just super happy to see all of you. We have missed you. We have been so busy. We've literally been traveling the globe and doing all kinds of things, doing all the things, and we have recovered from our Comic-Con adventures. It has been a whirlwind. Oh my God, let me introduce my co-host. Both of them are looking fab today. Hilton, where are you? Are you like what? I mean, you're in a whole new location. Hilton George is
I'm
in the house.
I'm above ground. I'm actually right outside my kitchen. I've got a new arrival here in the house, so she'll make herself known at some point.
Oh my gosh, the puppy
So
is here. What is her name again?
Yes.
What is her name?
Nala, like the Lion King.
I
Nala,
love it.
yes.
Not like Karan Ashley, George. I love it. I love it. You're so
She is so
sweet.
determined. She is so
Amen.
determined.
I
Full
want all
name.
dogs, all babies named after me. I mean,
Oh
come
my
on.
God.
Look, y'all gonna see her. She's gonna come right behind here as soon as she's done eating, and then y'all gonna
Yeah.
freak
Yeah.
out. It's gonna be
Good. You gotta
amazing.
bring her
Yeah.
up. We gotta see her.
We
We're gonna have
can't
to see her
wait
in
to meet her.
full glory.
Yeah, we cannot wait to meet her. I know the fans of the Bop can't wait to meet the newest Bopper.
Baby Bop.
Baby Bop, Christi Renee, how you doing? How is life? Look at you looking cute with your braids.
Oh, you know, they barely holding on, but they here. It's time for a redo.
Hanging
And
on by a thread.
every time I do this, there's two things I suffer most through is once I get halfway started and I think,
Yeah.
what the hell was I
Why did I do
thinking?
this?
Why did
Yeah.
I do this? And then when it's a month in, I'm like, yeah, I'm tired of this and I got to take it down. And then I don't want to take it down. So I'll just put on
Yeah.
I put on head
Yeah.
wraps to play it
Yeah.
off. So
I
yeah,
know.
but
Look
I'm good.
good.
I'm
It
happy.
works for you.
Thank you.
It does.
I
It
mean,
works for
I
you. I
make
mean,
it
I
do what
just,
it do.
you
Look like Josie Harris from the
yeah.
Oh,
90s years.
Lord.
I know only a few people
She
will
Lo-
remember
does.
Josie. Like I
No, I
remember
do.
Josie.
She
leave
was
it to
so
Hilton to mess it
amazing.
out. Yeah, that's great. It's great.
She doesn't like that comparison. I don't know why.
It's okay. I don't know. That's fine.
Well, guys, we are so happy you're back. Me and Christy were recently in Seattle, and we had a time. We saw so many people. I know Hilton George was just at Awesome Con in DC. I was just in Louisiana and Lafayette Comic Con. It has been nonstop Comic-Conning. Like we have
Yes.
all been going nonstop. It has been amazing, but also it's so tiring. Like it is like
Ugh.
I got home. It's like I got home and I had 2 days and then I was off to another one. It's
Yep.
just crazy. But it's that time of year. It's like we're having the time, like I almost say, if you do something you love, it's definitely not work. Like we have
No.
so much fun. We've just been, I mean, how was Awesome Con? That is literally one of my favorite shows. I got to make sure I go next year. I was booked already. And so but how was it? How I love that show.
It was a great show. This year they were the first weekend in March, or second weekend in March, and only such because it's an election year and they're normally in June. So
Yeah.
school was in session and there was a lot going on, and it was like a real like crowd and everything. That tons of guests. I don't know how they fit all those guests in there, but
I don't
it was a
either.
good 3-day weekend. And
Yeah.
BlurredCon goes in to promote the convention and
Mhm.
reconnect with the community and just have some fun. So we bring our DJs and video games and try to create that little microcosm of the BlurredCon experience. So
Oh,
we had
I've seen
good
it and it's
friendship.
amazing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And
I've
the weather
seen it.
cooperated for the most part, so it wasn't too bad.
Good.
Yeah, no, it was we were in Seattle. It started snowing, it was cold, it was like 40
Raining.
degrees.
It was a lot.
It was raining most of the time. We were like, what the heck is happening? But it was great. No,
And then
last weekend, literally.
And then the day we left, remember the sun was shining so bright. We were
Sunshine.
at the
Yeah, it
airport
was like
really?
we left the sun. We were like, really? Like we literally walked in the rain all weekend. Yeah, you know what's so funny is last weekend there were more Comic-Cons all on the same weekend. Like it was like how many shows can you have on the same weekend? Like I was literally invited to 3 different shows, but I had already committed to Lafayette, Louisiana Comic-Con. So it was like how many shows can we have in one weekend? Like literally everybody was doing a show, but it sounds like everybody did great. Everybody had fun and it was just good times. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Well, I'm excited. I definitely got Awesome Con marked on my calendar for next year so I can hang out with you and all the Blurred Con family because I mean it's awesome. Great show. I see somebody back there. Oh,
Oh,
baby.
oh,
Oh,
Nala,
she's making
Nala.
Nala,
She's so
Nala.
tiny.
come.
Oh,
How old is Nala?
well.
Nala is 10 weeks. Come on, girl.
Oh
Come
my
on.
God. And
And what
Sebastian
what
came
kind of
out.
dog is
I'm not
she?
talking to
I
you.
know
She is
Sebastian is Nala.
I'm not talking to you. I'm
she
not talking
is
to you.
a Rottweiler,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
Oh,
Nala's
she's
gonna
gonna
be
be a
like,
rock.
yeah,
That's a big girl.
in 2
Yeah.
months she's
Oh,
gonna be a
she's a
whole
big
nother animal.
look at her. She's huge. She's
Oh
huge.
my
big Nala, big
gosh.
Nala.
Hi, Nala.
Oh,
Hi.
they can't.
Hi. Look,
She
she's
can't
kind
hear
of
you.
looking at me. Hi, Nala,
Yeah.
Karan Ashley,
Oh my
George.
God. This one
Hi.
right here. I
She
can't
never
wait.
gets up on my lap, so she doesn't know what to do. She's like,
Oh,
I'm being
I
set up.
know.
I'm
She's
getting
like,
ready to get
but
in trouble. I don't know what's
look,
going on.
yeah, look at that
Oh,
People.
face.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
that face.
She's the cutest
Oh.
little thing in the world.
Joopy,
And
joopy,
she's full,
boosh.
and she's full of chicken. So she don't know what to do with herself.
You're gonna have a
Yeah.
Yeah,
dog sitter for BlurredCon because you got like you disappear for a whole week. Like
I
Nala's
know.
gonna
I
be like,
know.
Oh,
what
I'm
the
she
like,
heck?
coming to the. She coming to BlurredCon.
She
some
gonna be
kind of
like
She
way.
gonna
three
be
times the
outfitted.
size. She's
She
gonna
gonna
Oh
be
be
yeah.
like
outfitted.
she'll be a horse
She's she's gonna
by
look like she's
July.
gonna look like a horse. She is such a
They
sweetie.
grow so fast.
But look, we might have to break into the program and take a pause so I can put her in the backyard because she got that post energy. I know, Daddy. Let me.
That's
Yeah.
good. You know, we
Yeah.
could do the. But
Yeah.
that's
We can
live.
edit.
That's real
We can
life.
edit around the baby. We can
Say,
edit out around the
say,
baby. Oh
say
my
hi to
gosh. So
everybody, Nala. With the big paws.
Bye.
hi.
All
Hi,
right,
hi,
here we
hi,
go.
hi.
Back to
So
the nerdy
Oh
cute.
stuff.
my goodness.
We
I
love the
love it. I
babies.
love it. Well,
Uh,
we had a really fun assignment this week. I mean, I enjoyed every minute of it. We watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is on Netflix. And let me tell you, I'm one of those people who I have never, I mean, obviously I've heard of The Last Airbender. I've seen some of the, original, animated series. I've seen other spinoffs. But I've never really just been in it. Like it's almost like One Piece when I saw it on Netflix. I know of it. I know of characters. I know of people, but I'm not in it. So for me, this was all new. And it was like my first experience and I actually loved it. But I was so shocked, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it, because this show got so much pushback. It got so like it was like 50-50. Like people either loved the show or they were like pissed off at everything. Like it was just mind-boggling. But what I will say, it is successful enough to where Netflix has renewed it for the next 2 seasons. So it's not like nobody was watching. It's been on the top 10 since it premiered. It's been well received by the masses because they definitely won't renew it. Netflix will quickly turn its back on you. There have been a ton of promotion. I've seen that cast everywhere. They've done everything. They've been on all the shows. So they are really, really supporting this film. So Hilton, were you an original fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender? Did you watch the
very
original
much
anime?
so.
Okay, I'm glad. I knew you would be. I was like, Hilton is our OG. He is going to be like, he knows all about it.
Anime expert for sure.
Yes. Well, it's funny because at Ranger Stop and Pop this year, we have Dante Cumming, who played Zuko, the original voice of Zuko. And then we have
Oh
Jenny
wow.
Kwan
Cool.
Cumming, who was Suka, the original Suki, the original voice of Suki. So it's like, we're really excited to have them. But it's like, I told Dante, I was like, I finally know about the show. I finally know. So what did you
Right.
think? What was your first impression of the series? Because you originally watched the series from the get-go.
Well, I knew they were going to do pretty much the same thing that they did with One Piece. I mean, there's, just it's this ton of chapters to watch on the animated series, right? But I know they weren't going to make episode for episode what they were going to do. So they had to find ways to streamline certain things, make more direct connections, so that it could all fit into this one chapter format. And they did a great job with that. I think that what people have trepidation about is that One Piece is different because there was a very narrow sector of the general population who watched any significant amount of One Piece, even among anime fans. So when
Right.
people were talking about, the anime versus the live action and the discrepancies and this, that, and the third, you're like 0.1% of the overall viewing population from the Netflix show watched any significant part of the anime. So it really wasn't a plurality.
Right.
This show was on Nickelodeon for years, and it's on
Right.
Netflix and has been on Netflix for at least a year. It has such a wide, broad-based non-anime following that we
Right.
all like want,
It's like
like
the
maybe four
crossover
out of
show,
five
right?
people. Yeah, 4 out of 5 people have seen at least one set of episodes of the show. So the same discrepancies that you had with the One Piece live action, you had some of those same ones, which were all deliberate decisions, deliberate script
Mm-hmm.
writing, casting, and things like that. It's just amplified because there's more people who were following
Right.
this animated show. That being said, I really, really, really love the way they told the story. They put
Yeah.
emphasis in certain chapters that wasn't in the animated show. They had realism. They had amazing scope and special effects. I wasn't too keen on the script.
Right.
I think maybe some of the banter and some of the in between dialogue
Hokey at
didn't
times.
quite capture like the animated series did.
Yeah.
Everything else I loved. I really felt like it captured the key moments. I think it's a great gateway drug for anyone who hasn't watched the animated series to buy in, have a good time, get introduced to it, and perhaps go and watch the show on the animated series, which I think is still on Netflix in the same way Netflix did with One Piece. It's a
Yeah.
fantastic show. It's got amazing scope. It's got amazing world building. And I think that they have done a really, really good job. I'll give it a solid 8.5 out of 10 for this first
Okay.
chapter. And I think it's only going to get better. I think they kind of got their sea legs and they took some
Mm.
bold moves and did a lot
Yeah.
of fan service. And I think this next chapter, I think they're going to be like, okay, we kind of know what our groove is. We know where to improve. And I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Okay. So, Christy, I'm interested in knowing what you thought. Because, Christy, okay, when we were in Seattle, I was like, I'm enjoying it. She was like, she
Meh,
was like, eh.
meh.
And I go, no, keep watching. Because I think the more you watch, the more it pulls you in. And so, what was the overall, like, you watch the series now? What did you think? And be
So,
brutally
so
honest.
okay, because I will. I'm gonna get to the piece, and y'all know you ought to know what's coming. Because I can't be the only one with my naked eye to look at certain things, or even with my ear, my raw hearing, and hear certain things. First, I will say it is beautifully done. I think again, I agree with you, Hilton. It's a beautiful the visuals, the optics, set wise, action wise. I thought it's really good. I wrote down one of my favorite scene, I mean, just some of the fight things that were going on. I love when Ong and Zuko have their moment to
Yeah.
battle a little
Aang.
bit. And yeah, I don't know why I'm determined to call that baby Ong because
Blame
of
M. Night
the
Shyamalan because
because
he's the
of
first one to call him
I
Og. And it's
know, and I
Yeah.
think that's what messed me up because that double
Yeah.
A, and it was because I did watch that version of
Yeah. Yeah.
the show, the movie. So anyway, so Aang, um, I was not a fan of the writing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I struggled. I struggled with the casting. The elders I noticed seemed more authentic to the Asian and indigenous cultures that this whole story is rooted in.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I felt like a lot of it was sorry, guys, not sorry. It was whitewashed to me. I felt like there
Mm.
was not enough.
Yeah.
There are there are there are ranges of color. Like even when I talk to my kids, because they love anime, so they're the ones that get me really up to speed.
Yeah.
But I remember my kids watching the cartoon as kids. And
Yeah.
so that's how I got a taste of it first. And then when the movie came out, we saw the movie. But in looking at even the cartoon characters, which apparently this is supposed to be really heavily back to the roots, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I was a little disappointed because even in the cartoon, like you see color range, and I just didn't get
Mm-hmm.
that. And then I also felt like everybody spoke as if they were from, Northern California. I don't know. It was just I feel like, we watch shows that are rooted in cultures and they
Yeah.
do so well. I mean, we can talk about now ad nauseum. Um,
Mm-hmm.
this should have been another show or another opportunity to take full advantage of being really rooted in cultural roots. And I just feel like it fell flat for me, in that
Mm-hmm.
regard. I agree, I didn't like the extra banter. There were some things said in between, and again, that's where I felt like I'm just looking at a bunch of kids from LA. No offense, LA, I'm just saying. I just know that
Mm-hmm.
that's not where they supposed to be. So it messed with me visually and just listening, linguistically, all of that. It just, that's it. That's an aesthetic. It's part of the big picture. And
Yeah.
I struggled with that. But I will say I enjoy the themes. I love a good, storyline with themes and, a progressive story. And then there's all this back work. I love the character development and arc
Mm-hmm.
for Zuko. So we'll get into that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I struggled. I struggled.
Okay.
I
Okay.
got through it, but I struggled.
Can I,
Okay.
I'll,
How do
let
you
me,
feel about that? Because I kind of disagree a little bit, but go
well,
ahead.
I have to understand, I have to remember that, not everybody like was religious. Like I can honestly say I've watched the animated series back to front at least 4 times. I love it that much.
Oh,
And
that's
so I
great.
understand the cultural piece of it because, the air kingdom, the air nomads were kind of molded after Buddhists, and a lot of them tended to have the Buddhist, ethnicity, in their eyes and in their culture. And they captured a lot of that in the costuming, and a lot of that in some of the traditions and meditation. The Fire Nation, in the animated series, was a little bit more toward, Middle Eastern, South Asian, Indian,
Mm-hmm.
kind of look. And then obviously the Earth kingdoms were Asian, very very, the Fosse Say, they were actual Asian names and going from there. But they did do a little bit more of a mix with this, and
Mm-hmm.
made some choices that, I it wasn't enough to take me out of the story because in part, everybody wasn't like super cultural. So for instance, our girl and oh my gosh,
Which one? What
the,
character?
no, no, no. I'm just thinking that the Southern Water Tribe had a little bit less of that indigenous Eskimo
Right.
feel than the Northern
Katara.
Water
Yeah.
Tribe, right?
Right.
And so
Soka.
and Soka, and so it
Soka's
didn't really, yeah, it didn't
completely
really
white.
bother me too much because I never really felt like Sokka had like much of an ethnic spin on him as a character,
Mm-hmm.
and so that didn't really take me out. But I do think that they switched some things up. So the Fire Nation is Asian, and that's a switch. And then the King Boomy, he looked a little Middle Eastern, where in the series, he was not. So there was some switch ups in there, but I think it was a broad enough cast to kind of cover
Yeah.
the spread. But
Yeah.
to Christie's point, it wasn't as ethnic as the movie, all right? And
Right.
I think they made
Right.
very deliberate choices with the movie to reflect, what was in the series. But it didn't take me out of it, and I don't think it's going to take the average person out. But
Yeah.
I do think that the script, was not as dynamic. The dialogue was not as,
Yeah.
Sokka wasn't zany. Sokka is a very zany, over the top
Yeah.
character, and they have not found a way to write a live action, Sokka
Yeah.
that is that constant, off the wall character. Uh, and this was another deliberate choice. The kids were age correct.
Right.
Aang was actually like 12, 13 years old. His
Mm-hmm.
actor was that. And I got to remember, like, okay, everyone who is to play Aang, he's martial arts. He's obviously a martial artist, and
Mm-hmm.
he's ethnic. He's kind of
Mm-hmm.
Asian, whatever. How many actors are 13 or 12 out in Hollywood that are available and can play this role and can act and know martial arts are there? That's a very thin pool for the
Yeah.
casting of Aang. So while I'm like, maybe he's not as epic as he could have been, but at the same time, it's Hollywood, live action. You can't draw these
Right.
people; they are who they are. So
Right.
yeah,
Right. Well, just so you know, Justice Sokka, who the gentleman who plays Sokka, he's actually of mixed race. He's from the Cherokee tribe, and he's also American. Just so we put that out there. And then Aang, it was one of those things where I wasn't. It didn't, like you said, it didn't bother me. It didn't take me out of it because there were so many cultural things that were there and they stayed true to, and they made sure to honor respect, right? So I felt like, if you think about it, like one thing I love is that, you know, they if you think about if you're modernizing a new, like I felt like this version modernized, but if you think about the American, if you have a lot of people who are from Asian descent, from it's almost like they reminded me of a lot of the Asian kids that I know, like I have friends like Johnny Bosch, my friend who's a voice actor, even Dante, like Dante's from the Philippines, he's Filipino. He doesn't necessarily like, it's just, I felt like I kind of like the fact that there were so many different Asian, like it almost gave it more dynamic. Like it's almost like black people. Like black people aren't just one color. We come in a rainbow array of colors, and that is what black culture is. It's one of those things. So for me, it didn't feel whitewashed. I mean, the only thing that like you said, the script, like the little dialogue and like the teenagery things they tried to add in there, like I felt it was forced. Like I felt like they were trying to make it so like relevant, like this is what the kids say, when it should have been, you know what I'm saying? Like that was the stuff that bothered me, because I was like, it's corny. And I do believe like a couple of the actors,
I wrote that.
it
I
was
wrote corny
right?
on my list. I was like, there's a little corniness going.
There was like a little corniness. And so it was one of those things where I felt like, I felt like if they would have had, like you said, if they would have had an actor who was more comedic, where he had roots in comedy or something, because there are kids that are funny like that, it really would have sold it. It really, but the guy who played Zuko, oh my gosh, I loved him.
Yeah.
I loved Aang. I loved Aang's innocence. Like that look on his face, I believed all of that. So I felt like there were, like it was such a, and I really love like Katara in the beginning. I was like, where are they, what's happening with her? But I mean, she really sold it, of just trying to find her skills and trying to find her voice and living up to what, her destiny was. And I really loved her, especially at the end when she was, crying out to Aang and was like, come back to us, I don't know. I felt like the things that I could have been upset about didn't upset me, because then something else would happen and I loved it,
Well,
and
you know what it is? I think that, and I said this in a side conversation I had this weekend with some other fans, is that they threw in enough fan service to hit you in the feels from the animated series, that by the time I started getting stuck on something that wasn't where I wanted it to be, the fan service would come in and go, like the guy who played Commander Zhao. Amazing actor.
Yes.
Every scene. Like, I mean, just probably the most talented actor on the screen at any point in the episodes. And we've seen him in the HBO series Industry. He's been in a lot of stuff. He even goes back to Rush Hour. Remember, he was playing Toontown's assistant.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so he's like a martial artist, a stunt person.
He was in Lost.
Leaned into his. He's just been that guy in the background, like the assistant, like what do you call it, the supporting actor that we all know, but we might not know his name. And he chewed up that scene every time he showed up, and I was just like, a character that I liked in the animated series. I even liked him in the movie that everyone hated. But this one, I was like, I hope he didn't die.
We have to say that
he's more menacing. He's more menacing and conniving than the Fire Lord. I was like, and he was great too. But
he is good.
And the brother who plays Uncle Iroh.
Oh, Uncle, we love Unc. We love
Paulie.
You've seen him in what was the other one? The Book of Boba
Gosh,
Fett.
he's been in everything.
He
Yeah,
has been a
he's
little bit
in.
everywhere, so he was excellent casting as well. And like I said, they were faithful enough to the source material that the
Mm-hmm.
story kind of overtook and made the series better than the sum of its parts. Because I agree
Yeah.
with like 99% of what Christy said. I was just like,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I was like, but the math ain't mathing to like how I
Right.
feel about it. Like, like this should put it at a
Right.
solid 5.5, right? But I was
Right.
just like,
Yeah.
I got my Northern Water Tribe, water kaiju, which was a huge season closer or chapter closer for the animated series, and they skipped it in the movie. I was so mad. It's like I want my
Yeah.
water kaiju to just, and it was perfect. So it had
Yeah.
those scenes in it that I like, and I think now that we're gonna get Toph
Yeah.
for season 2, which is like she's a killer character. They cast her right, it's a wrap.
It's over, right?
Man, listen. So yeah, I
I'll
think
say
that's what it is.
I'll say
Yeah.
this for me, for the
Mhm.
people that know me and my perspective on all of this is me coming in have not having watched every single episode of an
Right.
animated
Me too.
series. I did see the film that everyone hates. I know we have to put that. I feel so badly for that, but
They spent a lot of money on that picture everybody hates.
yeah, I feel like that's the consensus. The consensus is
Yeah.
okay, boo on that. But I'm not clueless to it. But again, with just my regular self showed up and
Yeah.
sat down and watched. Those are the things. But I do have pieces that I enjoy about it. So
Yeah.
it's a good watch. I mean, just to be
Yeah.
watching. But you know me, I feel like I'm
No,
always
I
gonna
love
go for
that
the.
though.
I'm
No,
gonna go
but we
for the.
should. We should watch for the culture. Like we really
Well,
like. I mean, that's the thing. Like, well, like you think about like when we watched Echo, or when we watched Black Panther, or when we
Right.
watched, I mean, it's like we literally were like,
We
oh,
live. I look for it.
the culture. Like that was the first thing we said before we said anything else. It was such
You
a tribute to the people. So I agree. I agree with
you
that. I
know.
mean,
At,
it,
let me do a comparison real quickly,
yeah,
just to back up this point. If I'm watching something and I think of the era, like this is ancient time, right? This is like forever ago, right? Am I crazy for thinking that?
it's another
So
world, but it's cast in that
in
ancient
that it gives you
feudal
that feel. I
yeah,
mean, there's no
Pyramids and stuff.
electronics or anything like that. So I don't
Right.
feel it's not today. But so it is prior to westernization, colonization, assimilation. So when we think about the course of time and I get it, if it's another world and I just need to sit back and be like, okay,
it is another world, but
everything ain't always about the black. Yeah, well, I live
right,
I stay
right,
true to that space for a reason.
yeah,
However, I get that. So I respect that.
yeah.
I forget that it is otherworldly.
Hmm.
So maybe that's where I need to just be like, okay. But when I compare though, when I look at those cartoons, I see some
Yeah,
darker
yeah.
shades
No,
going on.
for
And I just
sure.
know that they're out there. So that's it.
Yeah,
That's my 2 cents.
I do. I
Well,
will say
Karen,
that yes.
no, I was going to say the universal. I don't want to say critique, but you know, people were saying it should have been 12 episodes and not 8. Because
Probably.
they could have fleshed
Child.
out things, put a little bit more background
Hmm.
for the people who are just getting
Yeah.
introduced to the franchise. And I agree, but then again, I'm thinking, well, they probably had budgetary constraints, and they probably were
And
caught up in the writer strike.
Netflix is giving Wednesday and Stranger Things 8 to 9 episodes. They're not going to give this new series. Like this is what
Exactly.
Netflix does.
It was
This is
never
not
going to happen. Don't wish
HBO
for it.
Max
Don't cry
isn't even
for it.
doing that. They're giving 10 at the tops. You
Exactly.
know, this
Exactly.
is TV today. There, you gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
But
You
what
know.
I really like is that it was dark enough that
Hmm.
it had that air of seriousness. Just like the animated series, you're watching an animated series that is as serious as an anime, but
Yeah.
it's kind of it's an American cartoon animated series. It's on Nickelodeon. And
Yeah.
you're talking about genocide, and you're talking about
Yeah.
war, and you're talking about, succession and destinies and all these things. Everything is at stake all the time. And how do these characters manage to be both entertaining and go on their
Yeah.
side quests and all this sort of thing. but they maintained that, and I think it was a very easy thing for that could have gone to the side if they were
Right.
just like, let's just get through this. The one thing that was missing from the movie that was a glaring error is that you didn't have Kyoshi Island, and didn't have the scene where he's communing with Avatar
Oh,
Kyoshi,
that was
and you have
incredible.
Yeah.
and
I
Avatar
enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Kyoshi is like, she's like, she was so well written in this series that it was even
Yeah.
better than the animated series, because he
Oh, she
comes to
shows up
her
again.
and she's just like,
Yeah.
like, what the fuck took you so long? Like, what are you doing? Like, she's like, I don't know what to do. She's like, stop crying like
Why
a
you
bitch.
talking to the
Like,
baby like
Right.
like,
You're the
and I'm sitting there
Avatar.
like,
You're supposed to
I'm like,
like. Why are you worried about all this other stuff? Like,
right,
you're
you supposed to be
And
ending
she was
all
taking
this.
her
Like,
time
supposed to be saving the
explaining. I'm
world.
like, Lord, the
she's
baby
like,
is
Yeah.
in a trance and
yeah.
everything's
Right. About to get
falling
killed.
apart. And she is taking her
She
merry
says,
time,
Yes.
just like
let me show you how Kyoshi do it.
show
And
you
she
how
went
it's
there and
Yes.
done.
threw them people all over the place. And I was like, that's the
Yeah.
Kyoshi. And I
That
do
was
hope
one of
he
my
comes back.
that's on my notes too, the Kyoshi
Yeah.
scene when she shows up and she's in him and then it's him and I'm like, oh, that was really good.
Yeah.
That was really
Yeah. I
good. She said, let
loved
me show
it.
you what it looked like. Show you
That
better
This is
was
than
how
I
you're
can
really
supposed
tell
to
you.
handle
beautifully
business.
shot, yeah.
That
You
was.
know,
It was
one
good.
thing I loved, one of my favorite things about this series was just because, like, the minute I saw Zuko, he was obviously one of my favorite characters, but I was
Hmm.
like, why is he so mad? Like, why is he so
Yeah,
angry? Like, it
it was
was just
over the
like,
top a little bit at the
but yeah,
beginning.
it was very over the top in the beginning, but they really seeded it and they really uncovered, like, peeled it back like an onion. Cause like you really didn't get the full story until like episode 7,
Hmm.
8. Like you like
Yep.
got a little each way,
Ooh,
but
it hit
it's
me in the
like
That
you
was
chest.
nice.
understood, like you
Hmm.
understood why he was so determined and why he was so mad and why he was so resentful and why he was like, he wasn't like, he didn't even know how to be nice to his own people, like his
He
people on his
smiled one
team.
time. Yeah, he
Yeah,
smiled
and
one
the
time.
actor, yeah, and that actor did really well. He did such it was such a great arc for a
Yep.
character to where you hated him in the beginning, you really started to feel for him, then you understood him, and then you were almost like rooting that he would like find that what did he say, find the compassion, like it's like you were
Hmm.
hoping he would find that in his heart, and then you were heartbroken for him at the end when you
Yep.
realized his father was just playing games with him and his sister. Like he literally was creating monsters for the fun of it. Like it wasn't even a matter of power. It wasn't even, well, I mean, obviously it had to do with power, but it was like he was almost playing this game in this war with his own family. And you
Yep.
had the
They're
uncle who was
pawns.
like treating him like a son, and
Hmm.
really like was like, how does my brother not value the fact that he has his son? I don't have my son. Like how, like it was such a great
Yeah.
arc. Like it was
Yes.
beautiful for me.
Well,
That
That
was
was
very
my
good.
favorite thing.
if you watch the animated series, like I cried, in the
Oh,
animated series, because they have a whole episode that kind of centers on and reveals that Uncle Iroh lost his son at the siege of Ba Sing Se, and that it was his greatest failure, greatest acolyte or whatever you want to call it,
yeah.
and what that moment actually meant to him, and why he always bristles when they call him the Dragon of the North, and all of
Mm.
this stuff, because like all of that, he was actually the one in line, next in line to be Fire Lord, and
Wow.
renounced his claim, and he didn't know why. And they portrayed it in a different way here, but they made it very clear and did so in such a way that showed the bond between him and Zuko. Like
Yeah.
it showed like how, in the absence of a real father, as the Fire Lord was not, Iroh came in to be that father figure when he didn't have one, and is there to guide his path along that way. And like I said, it's
Mm,
one of the most powerful parts of the arc of his character and his character's arc in the series. And I'm so glad that they
yeah.
really zeroed in on it. But they also added some things that were new. This whole thing with the 42nd Brigade that started this
Right.
whole thing in the first place, and the members of the brigade who were his men on this quest,
Mm-hmm.
not understanding like that he cared for them or that he gave a shit, and to have them say, well, the whole reason why he got burned and why he got exiled was because he spoke up, because they were going to sacrifice
Mm-hmm.
the 42nd Regiment. He's like, wait a minute, we're the 42nd Regiment. And you're
Right.
alive.
Mm.
So before you
Yeah.
say he don't care, before you say he don't give a damn, let you know that the scar he got on his
Yeah.
face, the burden he's got and the chip he's got on his shoulder came because he
Mhm.
stood up
Right.
for
He can't
y'all.
even go
And
home.
Right.
And when they came in and
For
locked up,
standing up.
when he came back on the boat, I was like, oh Lord,
Yes.
oh they, and that wasn't in the series. That was a
Okay.
whole new addition. So I love that they were thoughtful enough to say we have to make changes because we're going to 8 episodes, but we're
Yeah.
going to make those changes in such a way that adds value to the story. And I think that's the
Hmm.
kind of thing when I talk about how the story picked up, where the individual components might have fallen a little bit short. Those
Right.
like emotional things for me were like, oh my God, like to add that dimension of it to a character that didn't have it in the first like 2 or 3 chapters of the series in the animated version. Like, man, they're really trying to add some adult heft to this, and they were
Yeah.
successful in that.
That's cool. So, Christy, what was one of your favorite things about the series? Because I know you said you had notes. Christy wrote notes. She she
With
got
my
all
red pen.
she
Can
got
y'all
all the
see it?
notes. We
It's my
can't see because of the glare. Okay, I kind of can
oh,
see it. Okay,
I
so
got
yeah,
notes.
great. I love it.
So first, I have to, we talked about the optics and the visuals, and I get sucked in by the cinematic glory in things
Yeah,
like
it's
this.
beautiful to look at.
And I have to say, the creatures that showed up in this story along the way. Of course, you've got the giant flying bison, which I thought, oh my God, that's so never-ending story. It just put me in that mind. I loved it. It was good. The owl, massive, looked amazing. I love special effects, and when they create
Yeah.
these things that are rooted in reality, but then they just put these twists on them. The spirit monster. I said at first it was two things in here.
Oh,
I was like,
Not the
I
monster.
the monster. I know Karen Ashley is running, honey, somewhere because when that dang centipede showed up, it messed with me. It messed with me. It was in. I was like,
Like,
oh, I was a
okay,
little
like, yeah, it was
disturbed.
like, yeah, it was dark. It was creepy.
That was very
Creepy.
creepy, but very nicely done. I thought a really good touch. It was yeah, that was good. So that was fun for me. I liked watching those moments. And what I also, and I mentioned this earlier, a lot of theme dropping, a lot of messages in this, and they had these one-liners, a lot of the, because again, the whole time Aang keeps saying, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't want to do this. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, bless his little
Right.
heart. He was so confused, but that gave, that opened the conversation for these strange unsuspecting mentors along the way to really teach him, well, here's
Yeah.
what you're doing, and this is why you're doing it, and this is how you're doing it. So I thought in the very beginning, I thought something powerful was said about the real power of the avatar, and I think it was Katara says it, is that his connection to people. And then we
Yeah.
see the friendship, and that, I think that was the first moment, like when he's begging Zuko and his uncle to, and I noticed it when they're in that carriage and he's got him bound in the back of the
Mm-hmm.
wagon, and the uncle never turns around, but only Zuko is really responding because it's like the uncle already knows, like you're
Yeah.
about to learn so much. He's trying to teach his
And he's got
nephew.
to let him learn, right?
Yes, he's got to let him, but he's also learning from the same source that he's like chasing after, and he's just going to have to learn humanity, and then the whole compassion conversation starts, with that.
Yeah.
But he's talking about his friends, so they really touch a lot on the friendship element. But love equals light. A couple of things.
Yeah.
Pain is it changes you. One of them says pain changes
Mm.
you. Oh, because when the thing was chasing them, the beaver mole, or I mean the mole, what was it called? The tunnel
Yeah. I don't know
mole.
what it was called.
That one, something
Yes.
mole. And they held hand, like that. Those are great moments, I think. And again, I
Yeah.
forget this is done by Nickelodeon in association with, so it's good because it's for the children. They also deal with something strong like gender bias. I mean,
Yeah.
when the waterbender man was telling her, Katara,
You're great, but you're not going to fight.
women are not strong enough. I was like,
What?
he just said it. He said the words. He said
Yeah.
the whole line. Women are not
Uh-huh.
strong enough. Whoa. So, I mean, just dealing with that and watching her have to battle that. Because I'm with you, Karen, when at the beginning I was thinking, she's cute, but
Right.
what's happening? Like she said, she was very sweet. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, where's her struggle coming in? And then boom, it was there in like episode 5 or so,
Yeah.
or whichever way. It was midway through. And when he said that to her face, I thought, okay, come on, come on,
Yeah.
concept, themes, and issues and
Yeah.
struggles.
And we didn't
Well,
even
you
see
know,
that coming in the series. So like in the animated
right.
series, it was like that's a big issue to just throw into a Nickelodeon animated series out of
Right.
nowhere. You know, like gender bias. Like, hold on, I thought the target age
Yeah,
group for this was like 15, and I was along
Right.
for the ride. You know, you go to Small World with your nephews, and you'd be like,
Yes.
I got to get on
You
this.
be
Like,
enjoying it more than they
yay!
are.
Like, so I was kind of like approaching it that way. But like again, this was the first chapter, so a lot of people, even the ones who saw the animated series, it was the same type of shock, and I was like, I'm glad they kept it in there because it wasn't in the
Yeah.
movie, and it
mm,
was important. It was like, this is what will define who she is. The fact that someone is underestimating her and doesn't believe that she can do it and is telling her not to. Even Sokka's like, all right, we're going home. She's like, yo, we got a mission to save the world. What are
the
you talking about?
world.
Like,
What
what are you
home? What are you
talking about?
like, dude? Get on the
Well,
bison.
This
Let's
is
go.
bigger than both of us.
Like,
Yeah.
yo,
yeah.
and the sense of loss because there were actual death of
Yeah.
kids, young people
Yeah.
who were dying at this war. So the stakes are
Yeah.
not lost on the story, and it just
Hmm.
really just adds that weight to it. And so when you have the struggle that Aang is having, again, you're like, he's 12 and he's been asleep for
Right.
100 years. He doesn't recognize this world, but he has this well of awareness from all of his previous incarnations going back millennia that he can technically tap into at any time if he.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has this wisdom without knowledge or experience. And that's what you're seeing manifest in a 12-year-old who's like, I don't want to be the avatar. I'm not that important. I'm just going to get everybody killed or get everybody hurt. Let me just go
Yeah.
off and, whatever.
An
And it
adult
doesn't
would
really
feel that
sit
way.
there. An adult would feel that way. Like
You
it
know,
really
like,
is a conflict.
yeah. You know what I did really like though? I thought, wow, this series has been done like it was, when did it first premiere? It was like, I mean, 15,
This
20
was
years ago.
Yeah, this was like
Yeah.
2006,
Yeah.
2005.
But think about it, even then, like the things they're talking about in this series is so relevant. Like,
Hmm.
the Fire King, like the Fire Lord really reminds me of a certain political group who wants to
Hmm.
keep people divided, who thinks we will, even though they know like we have to conquer, we have to do this, and like justifying their violence and
Hmm.
justifying keeping people divided and justifying, just wanting to be powerful and saying, even going so far as they know, like all these ants, all the noblemen or whatever, when Aang goes in and he goes, y'all are supposed to be noble, you're supposed to be
Yeah.
neutral, and they're like, no, he's our god now. And it's like, whoa, like the brainwashing of the cult, like it was so, I thought that was very timely, and I
Yeah.
love that they
People
kept it in
forget
there. Yeah.
that people forget that the Fire Nation actually is more of a metaphor for America than anything else.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it's like, there's so many parallels. Like we go to war to
Yeah.
make peace. If we just take over the world, there won't be any war. We can bring them technology and we can bring them all the benefits, but then all you end up doing is killing and genocide and all that.
Yes.
So dystopian.
Like you're
I do
killing
love that.
children. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do love that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was that was one thing that I was like, I was happy that they put in there, and like they kept it
Mhm.
true. Like there was no denying who the Fire Nation was. Like there's no denying the fear that they were, their spies and everything they did, the way that they worked, the
Mhm.
way that they, moved. And another thing that I thought was, really cool is at the end, obviously they won the battle, but they didn't win. Like it wasn't a victory. Like it was so much loss, so much carnage,
Mhm.
so much destruction. They didn't succumb to the Fire Nation, but so it was like there was really no need to celebrate when they knew like so many people had,
Mhm.
so many young people lost their lives. And I thought, what a powerful statement,
Well,
to,
and the chief's daughter, was
yeah,
sacrificed. I mean, they literally killed the moon spirit and
Mm.
had to be replaced, at the
yeah,
sacrifice of the daughter of the chief. And so you even have that loss. And it's just like they destroyed most of the Northern Water Kingdom and you had so much death, so much loss.
yeah,
And like, how do you even go forward from that? Like, you they went about it the right way because they had more resolve, that this was serious, because this will not stop here. And
Yeah.
having seen it firsthand, we know we need to stick together and make it work. And there you go into chapter 2. That's a great segue. But
Hmm.
yeah, they kept it serious. They did not. There was not a victory that you would want.
Yeah. So what was your I don't want to say least favorite, but
I think
I
we
mean
talked about that.
yeah, okay, we talked about that. Okay, so was there a character, because like I love Zuko. That was my jam. Was there a favorite character any of you had that you were like, I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to see where it goes. I mean, Hilton, you mentioned somebody who's coming into season 2. Give me your favorites as far as like people you really enjoyed their performance. Either one of you.
It has
Let
to
Hilton go
be.
first.
It has to
Yeah.
be Commander Zhao.
Yeah.
He was. I mean, you have to remember, the Fire Lord didn't even show his face until the final chapter of the animated series. He was so
Right.
far back. He was like the Emperor in
Wow.
the Star Wars original trilogy. He was
Hmm.
there, but he wasn't like the one moving around. Commander Zhao was an excellent, villain to have, moving around and making moves and being in the scenes and chewing up the screen and everything to move it forward. Because if he hadn't been there or hadn't been as good as
Yeah.
he was, none of the story would have really caught on. I mean, the
Right.
whole battle at the Northern Water Tribe would not have happened, at least, or wouldn't have had the weight. His relationship and the conniving and backstabbing of Prince Zuko, the assassination attempt, all of those things. They put so much of that content in, and they couldn't have done it if they didn't have an actor to carry the role, to carry
Yeah.
the weight, to make us believe it and make us invested. So he
Yeah.
definitely takes the series for me, second only to my man playing Uncle Iroh. But
Yeah.
those two, without them, we
Those
don't have a
three,
series.
yeah. They kind of
Yeah,
saved the series. Yeah. So Christy,
I
what about
agree.
you?
I agree. I agree.
Okay.
I also want to make a interesting comparison to the Fire Lord. I love
Heck.
his what? What'd you
As-
say?
Remember, he took his shirt off. Everybody was like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
my lord!"
Oh, he is
I'm
Yeah,
snitching on the
Daniel.
Avatar girl. I
Yeah.
know exactly where he
Daniel
is.
Kim. He is
He still
he's a
got it.
he got it. He got it.
Honorary mention.
It reminds me just that whole
It
character
did not
though.
go unnoticed, just by the way.
No,
It
it
did not
didn't.
go
It
unnoticed. We
was
didn't bring it up yet, but it didn't go unnoticed. So we got eyes. Sorry, Christy, go
yeah,
ahead.
I'm good. No, that's a good point. We don't want to miss that.
We didn't.
But him, just his character in particular, it reminded me so much of Curse of the Golden Flower, which I just to this day is one of my favorite films. And that whole pitting against, I just thought he was very sinister in his thinking and his maneuvering, and I thought that was interesting. And again, this is an honorable mention. So I want to see Aang as a character. And I know the more he embraces his role and all of that, I want some of that, some depth to come. Like he's very, and I just, I want him to go to
He's very
alto.
much a
I
baby,
just
right?
want an alto. I don't want him to be a baritone. I need a
Well, he
little
grows
alto
up. He grows
range.
up through the animated series. So I'm
That's what I'm looking
imagining
forward to. I look
by the
forward to
time
that.
we get, by the time they start shooting, probably next year, or like this kid's gonna grow up. And
Yeah.
so they're probably, we may get some of that, because if he's
And I
12
have to say,
now, and let's say he's 13, 14, that's a different kid. Like
Now,
kids
I
be
he
like
is
changing in the
puberty.
section.
Yeah, I
not
Yeah.
just
got it.
puberty, but more time spent with an acting coach. I think he will
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
not just older.
I think he's
He'll be a
adorable. Let me
Being
just be
comfortable.
absolutely,
clear. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
absolutely. I think he's
adorable.
a great physical choice. I think this might be his first acting gig.
Yeah.
But I
Really?
think
Yeah.
I can't find anything that he's been in on screen
Yeah.
before.
Oh
But
wow.
I think in a
It's a
year,
big
when the
role.
next series comes
Yeah.
out, he's already, if you've seen him, the actor on social media, he's already like almost looks like a teenager now with hair and everything. So
Yeah.
I agree. We're gonna get the development in the character, but I think that he's gonna have more time to hone his craft as an actor, and he's gonna be better And
Yeah.
I hope that takes place with all the characters, because again, they're all age appropriate. You know, they're
Yeah.
all under, like, I think except for Sokka, are under 15. So
Yeah.
they got tons of time, tons of potential. And if they get a year or two, or if this becomes a 4-part series, we're going to see them grow
Hmm.
all the way up. So
Yeah.
it'd be like the Stranger Things kid,
Right.
you
It's
know,
Right,
they
Lord.
got
later,
it
They
right?
built
fully
in.
grown.
They
They
are
fully
women
grown.
in
Married
men.
with
Like
kids, paying taxes.
you know.
I did like I will say I wasn't a big fan of Sokka, but yeah, but I liked the scene with him and when they're in Kyoshi Warrior Girl. Golly, I
Hmm.
can't remember her name. There's so many names. Oh, I did
Suki,
write it down. Who? What's her
Suki.
name? Yeah,
Suki.
that one. Suki. Yes, she
Yeah,
was
Suki.
fierce. She was a
She
badass.
was great.
I enjoyed that. I wanted her to keep the makeup on because again, then when she took it off, I was like, "Girl, what is you?" I'm sorry. That was just me, watching by myself. Um, and they kept her a little awkward, which I thought, that gave the humanness of that character. So again, that's another character that I liked. She was awkward, even though she was fierce. She just still had to learn, wait, what is happening here? But when they do that, when she's teaching him
Yeah.
yeah, that was a nice touch, I
That
thought.
was one of the things that people were mad at. They were like, Suki had such a bigger role in the animated series. And so they were
Mm,
mad that it got cut so small, like it was just one
yeah.
episode. So I don't know if there's room for her to come back, in season 2, or if that was kind of, they met her, I don't know the original series that well to know if there's room for her to come back.
She'll be back.
Yeah, right?
Okay.
I thought I was
This is an
like,
Thank you.
introduction. She'll be back. She's
Okay,
going to
yeah,
be a
good.
big part of the series. So you'll see.
Good, because
yeah.
the Kiyoshi goddess
Yeah, like it
person,
was
she got to
so
come back. She
amazing.
has to come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So overall, I know Hilton said 8.5 out of 10. I actually was thinking myself, I was thinking it was about an 8 for me. Christy, where did you rank it? How many
yeah,
bops do you give it?
I'm gonna do 7.879.
Oh, okay.
That's high praise
7.879.
from Christi Renee.
Yeah.
Christy will
It is.
hold back
Yeah.
5 bops just on
Mhm,
GP.
Just on
mhm.
mixed
You
race.
know, so
Like she wants a non-colonized cast. She
Listen,
wants
y'all.
so
That's why I said y'all already know I'm here. I did. Here I come. Here I
yeah.
come
well,
with
what I
that
hope
color,
happens with this is the same
the
thing that
color
we
code.
saw happen with One Piece. You know, you
Yeah.
see these people who are introduced to these characters for the first time, in a series that's live action, and then say, "Hey, let me just see what happens with Chapter One, Water,
Hmm.
in the animated series to compare." Because I'm invested. I meet the
Yeah.
characters, whatever. They did the same thing with One Piece, so I'm hoping they do it with this. Because to be quite honest, Avatar: The Last Airbender is the greatest series, non-anime but animated storytelling that
Hmm.
has happened in the last 40 years.
Yeah.
And while it's on Nickelodeon and while it was marketed definitely to kids, shockingly enough, when it first came out, those kids are adults now, and the adults are recognizing just how great it is. So if you do have a chance to see it, if you do have Netflix and you just want to check it out, especially if you've already seen the live action, it is so worth it.
Yeah.
And it's richer storytelling because they've got like 75 episodes to go,
Yeah.
and it's really really well done. There's very few flaws in the
Yeah.
animation.
Anyways, well, guys, it's been fun. It's one of those things that I enjoyed. Avatar: The Last Airbender. It wasn't perfect, but I think Netflix is going to listen to all of the things that were said. Like there were a lot of things. I think they got more
They got
pushback than they
opportunity.
thought. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I think
yeah.
they've definitely got more pushback than they thought. So they will definitely hopefully listen. And season 2 and 3 are definitely going to happen, and it's going to be exciting.
Like Star Wars
Um,
was great, but The Empire
yes,
Strikes Back is the greatest
the
sequel of any
greatest.
series in history.
Yeah,
Because all that was wrong with one, you got right in
you
two.
got it.
So
Yeah.
keep it rolling.
Yeah, it's one of
Yeah.
those things where that is the model. Like that is the model of how you can either fix something or you can just like it could just be all bad. Yeah, because season 2s are hard, especially when you have a blow up hit. Like, season 2s are hard. But anywho, So what's next, guys? What city can they find you in? I know my next show, I'm going to Indiana Comic Con. I will be there. Hilton, you got anything on the calendar you gonna be at soon?
I am actually chilling for travel. I am not going to be out and about. I will be at MomoCon for sure. And I might
Yes.
pop up at a few local events around DC, but the planning for BlurredCon is coming up, so I'm gonna take this
You
time.
are, yeah.
And then
You're
I got the
getting
little
eaten up
one
on.
who's not so little anymore to take care of. Who's full of chicken and looks like she just got hit by a truck. She just knocked out over here.
We're good. We put her to sleep.
Chicken,
Look,
yeah.
I can
Look.
do this for you. I can do this for you. Like this.
Yes,
Like,
please.
Oh, yeah.
look at that.
That's that
Look at
good
that. Dreaming, kicking the legs and
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
Oblivious to everything.
Oh my
Just-
goodness. Hilton is
just
a
adorable.
dad. Hilton is a dad.
Congratulations.
A dog dad. Oh,
By the time y'all
Hilton.
see it, she's gonna be big as me. So
You growing up,
absorb it
Hilton?
now.
You are growing up.
Look at you.
Well, it's funny. My family I don't have any kids, so my family are treating this like kid. I got like stuff coming in the mail, and
Oh my God.
and
You need a
pearl
shower.
necklaces,
You need
and just
You need a
like where's the
sip
doggy
and see.
shower? I'm like,
You need to have a sip and
Oh.
see so we can come sip and we come see
Yes.
your baby.
Yeah.
come
Oh
knock the
my
couch
God.
over. She is too happy to meet people. So
Oh,
as soon as she's
Yeah.
potty trained and ain't pooping or peeing on the floor, she'll come to
Ooh.
a con with me.
See, that's why I'm
Okay.
like, that's why I can't have no animals, because that's the part I'm like, you mean I gotta walk them every day? I gotta take
Every
them out
day.
Every day, like every 47 minutes. I'm
Oh,
telling you, when they get look. When baby girl give me that look, she'll be laid out sleep, and then she stand up and do this. She's like,
It's time to go.
You either get in the door,
But at least
or
she's giving the look. She's already learning. Like, I can't do that in here.
Get the
yeah.
bell on the door, and then get the conversation buttons. You can get the dogs and they'll communicate with you.
she'll be
Now
cussing out.
she might cuss you out, but it's fun. I mean, that would be a whole piece. That's a whole show. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terrible food.
My favorite ones are bitch. I'll be like, this dog is serious with you.
It's like a parrot. You can't be playing games with teaching a parrot words, because you can't unteach.
Yeah.
You can't unteach it.
You start learning to hit
That's
them
what
buttons.
real kids too. Real kids say bad words.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
My little 3-year-old niece already saying bad words. She caught these hands last time I saw her.
Oh
I had to
yeah.
teach
Oh yeah.
I was
She got
like,
it.
yeah, she had to get it. She was like sweet as can be, but honey, she had a little mouth. I was blown away by what she said.
What's your pearls? Like, oh my Lord.
Pearls
Yeah.
were clutch.
Oh.
We were like,
She
and
broke the
then
pearls.
she stood on business too. She was like, and what?
These kids don't care about whippings. My little nephew, his
No.
legs get lit up, he won't even cry. He just be like,
No.
hold up. What are you looking like, Denzel and Glory? Hold up.
Okay.
Without the tear.
I
Like,
cannot.
like, hold up.
Yes.
You're supposed to be running for your life. Your
No.
little 20-pound
That's
self.
They're
hilarious.
different. They're
They're
different. It's the hormones or
be-
something in this McDonald's or something. Whatever is in the water these
Them
days, them
preservatives,
kids
yeah.
are different.
He said the
Yeah.
preservatives in the McDonald's got them taking
What,
whippings.
I don't know what did it, but kids are different. Like we were
They
like
feel different.
consequences. Like I was like, I didn't want my mama to look at me bad. I'd be like, and like, no, they're different. They don't care.
That's why I ain't never been caught with drugs. Ain't never done no crime. I was always more scared of my parents than the cops or
Yes.
ridicule or any of that. My daddy said, "Don't get in the car with you. I can't go to your house. You can't come to my house. Don't
Right.
call my house. These
Yeah.
are the rules. I don't make
This
the
is
rules.
how it goes.
I don't pay rent. This is what has been dictated.
That's what
to
it
me.
is.
I'll
It
see you
is,
at the
yeah.
locker in between class, and that's it.
That's it.
Because I'm not getting beat for you. It's not happening.
No,
Yeah.
no. I ain't
We
seeing
was
my
different.
life flash before my eyes. No.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
Oh no, Christy, you ain't have to do that countdown. Didn't I tell you not
Yeah.
to? Yeah. Hold on. Why I'm getting every syllable?
The rhythm of it. Yeah. No, we had that though. We had it.
Yeah.
It was a different time.
Different time. Well, on that note, guys, thank you for watching the BOP, the Blurred Official Podcast. We love you. We mean it. Tune in every Tuesday to catch us talking and giving our unsolicited opinions about everything nerdy. We love you. Bye.
Tune in every Tuesday for a new episode of the BOP, the Blurred Official Podcast.